Welcome back to the GCN training channel. Now, coming up in this video, we have a Pilates workout focused on our core. And we're also going to welcome back our Pilates expert, Kira, ex-professional athlete and physiotherapist, and she's going to guide us through this session. So, without further ado, let's get on our mats and activate that core. Let's do it. Thanks so much for joining us again for another workout. What have we got in store this time?
So today we're going to have a look at core strength, which is really important on the bike. Obviously, the more efficient we are through our core, the better in terms of ensuring that all the power is going through our legs.
Definitely. Is there any equipment that we're going to need for this session?
Again, if you have a Pilates ring or a ball, that would be great. If not, modifications might be using a resistance band if you've got one, or potentially a football. Okay, so having a little look and seeing what you've got at home, or even like a rolled up towel would be absolutely fine for one of the exercises.
Perfect. Anything that the viewers need to know before we get into it?
So just ensuring that, as always, that you work within your own limits. If you have any injury or illness concerns prior to the session, please consult your medical professional to ensure that you're okay to participate. And if you feel uncomfortable at all throughout the session, please stop and contact a medical professional.
Cool. Let's get into it. What's first?
So first up, we have got our abdominal preparation. So grabbing yourself a head cushion. If you haven't got one at home, that's absolutely fine. Another cushion or a rolled up towel, absolutely fine. So from here, we're going to actually do a modification of this exercise. So you're going to place your hands behind your head like so. Now, with this exercise, you're going to breathe in and breathing out. You're coming up and you're just bringing shoulder blades off the floor, elbows nice and wide like so. And you're thinking about keeping that neutral spine position, thinking about rib cage towards the hip area, so we're engaging our abdominal muscles, like so. Now with this exercise, there are ways of progressing it, and again, adding modifications. So I'm just gonna show you here, Manon. You might squeeze the Pilates ball like so, okay? Or you might have the ring above your knees, so I'll demonstrate that. And I might be pushing out into this. So coming up and then slowly back down. Okay, so it's up to you. Now you could come in for a breathe in to prepare, breathe out as you float up, breathing in to hold, breathing out as you lower. So you might go for some reps like this to begin, or you might come up if you feel pretty confident with this exercise. And you might go for example, a minute hold or a 2-minute hold, working within whatever feels comfortable for you. Okay, so I'm pushing out into the ring and you should be squeezing the ball. So you're going to be working a little bit more inner thigh. I'm going to be getting a little bit more gluteal as well as abdominal here. So rest back there. Now I'm happy with your technique there, Manon. What we're going to do is come up and we're going to go for a minute. So you ready?
Let's do it.
Off you go. Elbows nice and wide.
And I guess you shouldn't be kind of like pushing with your hands on your head too much.
No, so they're just there resting. So this is a modification. So true abdominal preparation is without your hands supporting the weight of your head. But I think this is quite a nice intro because that can be quite challenging on the neck muscles. So again, pushing out into the ring if you're using that, or a band above your knees, or squeezing the ball, or your equivalent, it might be a rolled up towel. And again, you should be able to feel those abdominal muscles working. Now, there are so many ways of making this exercise more challenging again, but I thought this was just a nice introduction for everyone to the abdo prep.
Challenging enough for me, I'd say.
5 seconds left. 3, 2, 1, rest there, good work. Okay, so from there, you can keep these items again for the next exercise. We're going to work our obliques, so the muscles positioned here more so. So again, supporting the weight of your head, you're going to come up and we're just going to come across. So think rib cage to opposite hip, and we're going to come up like so. And you should feel the muscles more at the side working. Now keep that elbow nice and wide as well, that's supporting the weight of your head. Now, for some people, a modification might be almost putting the ball underneath their hand so they can just push down, and they might feel that helps them activate these muscles a little bit better. Okay, it's entirely up to you. Back down. Okay, so again, with this, you may choose to just simply come up for a rep and back down, okay? And again, if it's new to you, you might be saying, I'll do 5 to 10 reps of this, seeing how you get on. Again, working within your own comfort, or you might come up for a hold. Okay, so Manon, because I know we've done this exercise before together, we're gonna go 30 seconds at each side. Ready?
Yep.
Off you go. So think rib cage to opposite hip. I'm pushing out into the ring, you're squeezing the ball. This is your oblique preparation exercise. Elbows nice and wide. Breathing in and breathing out whilst you're up holding this position.
I always forget to breathe.
Yes. 3, 2, 1. Change sides, supporting the weight of your head at all times. And again, that rib cage to opposite hip. And again, it's easy because there's a lot to think about with Pilates, and it's really good for increasing body awareness, but it can seem quite like, oh, I've got to think about this and this and this. So just take it, kind of do a body scan. So for me, it's elbow nice and wide, relax around neck and shoulder region, rib cage to here, thinking about pushing out into the ring, foot placement. So that's quite a good way of ensuring that you're going through everything. Good work, rest there. Okay, fab. So that's 2 of your core exercises from today. The next part is your crisscross exercise. So we're gonna go for level 1. Now, really important with this exercise, if you are experiencing any lower back pain, then making sure that you potentially refrain from doing this exercise because we're going into a double tabletop position. So as always, just double check with a healthcare professional if required. So this is your tabletop position, hip and knee 90 degrees. Now, as cyclists, we quite like to bring the leg a little bit higher. So really making sure, you can have a little quick look on the side to make sure you're happy with your position, but your hip and knees at 90 degrees. Double tabletop for this exercise. So we float both legs up. My back, nice neutral position. So I'm not doming, so I'm not allowing my back to arch away from the floor.
You want it to be touching the floor?
Yes, so I'm keeping that nice neutral position, my rib cage towards the hip area, so I'm engaging the abdominal muscles, okay? From here, hands behind your head again. Now lifting up, we're coming up and we're going elbow to opposite knee. Elbows nice and wide as we do so, like so.
So you don't need to come too far. You don't need to touch your knee.
No, definitely not. So it's just almost think shoulder blades only coming off, okay? Breathing out as you go towards the opposite knee, okay? Remembering in double tabletop, always one leg at a time, back down when you finish the exercise, okay? So that is your crisscross. Now, a modification of that could be, if you're someone who cannot go into double tabletop, you could come up and you could go elbow to opposite knee, and you might add in that ball between knees as well, or using the ring, okay? Now, if you haven't got the ball or knee, just making sure the knees aren't moving around and you're swaying from side to side. Remember, this is all about core strength here, okay? So Manon, we're gonna go for it. We're gonna do a minute of our crisscross exercise with double tabletop. So you ready?
Yep.
Good, float one leg up.
Oh.
And the other.
I did too.
Good stuff, off we go. And again, you may be someone who is coming down between each rep, and that's absolutely fine. We're demonstrating staying up for a minute, but you might start with up and down for each rep.
And you can come back and do this session and
absolutely, and progress it on, totally.
I love that there's so many different variants of every exercise.
And you can make it as challenging as you wish. So we might go for a hold now, Manon. Just hold it for longer towards opposite knee.
Oh.
Yeah, perfect. And then the other side. Elbows nice and wide. Ensuring we're feeling this in the abdominal muscles. And just finishing off with some nice reps. So there's lots of ways of making this more challenging. Resting there, one leg at a time, back down. Good stuff.
Definitely feeling the burn.
Good.
Good.
So that's our crisscross. Now, just as a little bit of a relaxation, we're going to go onto our side and we're into our nice exercise for arm openings for working on that nice thoracic rotation. So what we're going to do in that position there, you're just going to peel one arm away, turning your head, looking at where your hand's going to, and then bringing the arm back. Okay, so from here, breathing in to prepare, breathing out as you float the arm back, breath in to hold, breathing out as you return. And just try and make sure your knees don't peel away from the floor, because it's quite easy with this exercise to almost want to do this, but then we're not going to be working on that range of motion, okay? So let's just do 2 more. Again, what you can do is just bring the arm a little bit higher with each rep. Depending on where you're feeling that things might be feeling a little bit restricted, a little bit tight for you.
Oh yeah, you definitely feel it when you go higher.
And then back. Good stuff. Okay, fab. Change sides. And then into our arm openings again. So from here, make sure your head is also right at the edge of a cushion or towel, so you've got turning space for your head. So as I'm coming back, I can turn my head. I can nearly touch you. This is just a nice little way of just having a little rest whilst working on some nice mobility before we move on to the last 2 challenging exercises of the core session. Good stuff. 1 more rep for me. Lovely. Okay, fab. So from there, we're actually going to be coming into the 4-point kneeling position again. Option to use the ring if you have one at home. Again, you don't need to use it if you haven't got it, because it's a challenging exercise anyway. So this is our leg pull and prone prep, level 1. So hands under shoulders, back nice and flat, center engaged. Now knees under hips, and from here, nice long neck position. We're going to come up, we're going to breathe in, we're going to breathe out as we float up. Breath in to hold, breathe out as you lower. Okay, so breathing in to prepare, breath out as we float up, breath in to hold, breathing out as we lower. Okay, so that might be sufficient for you for today's session. You might do 5 to 10 reps of that, okay? Ways of making that harder are obviously in this position, we come up, same, focusing on the breath, breathing in, breathing out, and you might go for a hold. So you might say to yourself, actually, I'm gonna make this a little bit more challenging by doing a hold for 30 seconds, minute, minute and a half, whatever you feel is appropriate for you. Making sure as you come up, another key pointer is that the knees just hovering above the ground, just a couple of inches, so we're not coming up into this position at any point, all right? Again, if you want to work on the inner thigh strength as well, you might, as a modification of this exercise, add in the ring above knees like so, and you could come up and you might do some pulses, okay? So that's another option. So I'll demonstrate that one, Manon, for a minute, and you're going to go for just the hold.
Okay.
Okay?
Sounds good.
Ready? Off you go.
And again, this exercise, it doesn't look like much.
No.
But once you're here, it really does burn, doesn't it?
You're glad I said a minute, aren't you?
Yeah.
So again, just focusing on neck long, relax around neck and shoulder region, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. And again, there are some other alternatives for this exercise as level 1. So there's loads of modifications you can do. And this is a really good exercise, like whole body workout really. So I'm getting upper strength here. So I'm really nice and solid through upper strength, which you want to be on the bike as well. So you're as efficient as possible through lower limb. My core's getting a workout, my adductors by squeezing the ring. 10 seconds. Good work, Manon.
Had to go for a little rest there.
3, 2, 1. Good work. Ooh. Excellent. Okay, and you can just stretch it out after that one if you wish. Bum in the air into your shell stretch, head down. Just sinking down into this lovely stretch. Just hold this. Good stuff. One other alternative just to highlight to the viewers watching with our leg pull and prone prep level 1. Coming up like so, same thing, and you're just going to go for some heel lifts like so. So again, it's single leg, which obviously as a cyclist is really useful to know. So if you found double leg was quite easy, next progression might be to have a go at the single leg toe taps there, okay?
Nice.
So the final exercise we're going to move on to, you're going to bring your hands further forward this time, so not under shoulders. From here, we're going to come up into a plank position in the Pilates terms. And from here, we're then going to lift one leg, back down, and the other leg, back down. Okay, so a couple of key pointers with this exercise. We're going to keep nice and strong through here. So imagine you've almost got like a fire coming up between the breastbones. So we're really strong through here. Neck is lovely and long. Excellent. We're keeping nice and strong through our core. We're not engaging our lower back. We're only lifting as high as we can. Perfect. Not arching our lower back in order to achieve that range. Perfect. So you can have a rest there a second, Manon. Okay. So this is our leg pull-in prone. This is a progression on from the last exercise, and it's really quite challenging. So again, depending on what you require, you might say, I'm going to do 5 to 10 reps, and then that might be perfect for you. You might do reps and sets of that, or you might go for a minute's worth. Cool. So last exercise, Manon, we're going to go for it.
Do it.
Okay. So ready, 1 minute, hands further forward. And if at any point you get too tired in this position, just do a hold. Okay, so just hold that plank position.
Yeah.
Ready, off you go. Nice and slow and controlled. And if you want to make it harder, you could just hold the leg away for longer. Neck nice and long. Remembering to breathe. So breathe out as you lift that leg. Halfway, good work. Feel the burn.
Definitely. Burn feels good though.
Keep it nice and strong so we're not using our lower back to achieve this movement with the leg lifts. And like I said, if you need to, just do a hold as I'm demonstrating now. Last 10. Good work, rest there. Back down and sink into that lovely shell stretch, which you've earned.
Oh. I feel like I could stay in this position forever.
Good work. So that's a wrap on our core strength session. Hopefully you found it really useful.
No, it was really good, and I feel like that's definitely a session that you could start off and do it every week, and you could make it harder every week as you progress.
Yeah,
so that's
absolutely. Yeah.
Really good. So thank you again for taking that session. It's been great to have you in these videos. So let us know down in that comment section below if you did enjoy and if you want to see any more Pilates videos on the channel.
Thank you.